This time last year, you weren't a full part of the New York rotation. You played 2 minutes in the finals against the Lynx. Now you're a major part of this group, and you're playing huge minutes in potential finals previews. So, what can your unique skill set bring to this brand of championship chase for New York?
I feel like I don't know. Sorry, hold on. I got to think about it. I feel like the thing is, my teammates do a good job of like reminding me that like, especially like the coaches. I feel like Sonia reminds me all the time that there's like no one in this league that could like really has like the skill set that I have, that quick first step, and then also what I could do on the defensive end. So when I get in the game, I'm just really mindful of that, just making sure that like if my person has a ball, just be disruptive as I can, and then even away from the ball, just like just basically like being everywhere, you know. Like you mentioned, last season I didn't get a chance to show what I can do against the Minnesota Lynx, so I was able to do it this time, and I'm glad we just got the win today.
KB, can you take me through what you thought was different about the way that the team executed?
I think today we threw the first punch. I feel like we were more aggressive to score, and then just like realizing that basically no one on their team can really go against us. I mean, we're unstoppable when we move the ball, and like each player in different positions on our team. Like we're just so explosive. We just bring something special every time we come on the court. And yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, just knowing that whoever's guarding us, like they really can't, you know. So like it's a mindset, you know. Just realizing the talent that we have, and like I mentioned before, when we play together, like no team in this league can stop us.
Just kind of piggybacking off that, I guess you guys came in today, regardless of what the result was, you were definitely going to win in that physicality department.
Yeah, for sure. And then also like being back in Barclays, like we wanted to get the win for the fans, because every time we have a home game, they always bring their energy, and like just the vibes and the atmosphere that are in Barclays is just amazing, and I feel like that played a part in our win today as well.
And then that big shot with Sabrina at the end, just what's going through your mind as she gets the rebound?
I was just like, hell yeah. I was like, ooh. I set that screen for her. I was like, okay. I knew the shot was going in, but like just having that trust in her, and like not only her and all our teammates, just making sure they're getting the best shots they can, you know. And when it went up, I knew it was going in, so I just celebrated with her on the floor. So yeah.
You guys talked about getting the first punch in. There was a lot of driving and kicking earlier. Just how important was that to make sure you establish that inside to out game early on?
Yeah, it's really important. I know when I come in the game, I know I have to attack, and then if the defense sucks in, then I have to kick out to the shooters. And I feel like everyone just did a good job of just realizing that the matchups that we have, like we could score anytime that we want. And then, yeah, I just feel like we just did a good job defensively. I think defense was the biggest thing for us. It really showed that when we put our minds to it, we could be the best defensive team in the league. So.
KB, before the ball with you, just staying on your skill set as you were speaking about earlier, there was a play, you kind of had your own Sabrina moment, because there was a play in that third quarter where you shifted somebody, and I want you to speak about that play. I know you didn't finish the play, but just speaking about that skill set with your ball handling and just being able to get to the basket like that, could you just speak about that play as well?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know what happened. I just heard the crowd react, and when my teammates came to help me up, they were like, oh, do you know what you did? I was like, no, I was just trying to get to the hole and make the basket, but I was able to make those free throws to make up for it. But yeah, it's just something that I've been working on in the off season. Ball handling has been the biggest thing for me, not only like shooting and then like being able to attack the basket. But yeah, it's something that I'm still growing in, you know, so it was kind of nice to see that clip after the game.
Okay, I was going to tell you to check.
Yeah, I did.
You were out there against some of Minnesota's biggest lineups that they could put out there, and you were playing the four there. We saw several possessions where you and Marine got into that empty side pick and roll. Just how have you developed chemistry, and how were you able to counter the big lineups like that in space?
Yeah, I feel like the coaches just do a good job every time we have practice to, when you set a screen, roll hard to the basket. Don't always pop, because you never know where the defense is going to get you. So I know with Marine, she's always going to make a good play because she sees the floor really well. So when I set that screen for her, I just knew to roll. And she found me, and I made the basket. So I just got to keep on doing that, especially for the guards that we have, because when I speed roll, they can't really catch up to me because of my quickness. So.
Is that the best crossover you felt that you had? With that
Probably so. Probably in my whole basketball career. It felt kind of good to see that clip after the game, but the biggest thing was just finally getting that win. But the job's not done yet. We still got 9 more games left. So we just have to keep pushing because teams are coming after us. But if we keep playing Liberty basketball, no one can stop us.
A few more.
KB, you talked about how vital the defense was tonight. I'm just curious if you can take us inside what the communication was like between the players on the court and what allowed the defense to be successful.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, just KYP, knowing that if a guard or even a big is going up against JJ or Emma. Stop, they already did. Stop. Let me go. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, okay, knowing that when other teams are going up against big players like JJ and Emma, to not be in help side because obviously they can handle it themselves, but like at the same time, knowing when to help, especially if it's, I don't know, one of those quicker guards. I know I just have to be in the help side no matter what, and then I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but just making sure that I'm always helping my teammates out on the defensive end because that's one of my strengths that I have. So,
Kennedy, when it comes to the disappointments of the prior losses, what sort of lessons did you take from the disappointments of prior fourth quarters and apply them to this fourth quarter this time around, where you guys were able to close and seal the deal?
Well, when it comes to the losses that we have, we really try not to think about those losses, obviously. I feel like today we did a really good job of having a really good third quarter, and I feel like that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. And I think the most important thing was us just staying present as a team and making sure that when we do have those moments where it's kind of going up and down and they're making their runs, we just do a really good job of just staying together. And, yeah, just honestly staying present because that's the best thing that you could really do, staying present.
There's been maybe another level this team can reach when it comes to effort. I'm just curious, what were some of those moments, or were there moments tonight where you were able to feel that?
I mean, I think that we started the game great, and every time like it was going a little less good, I think we didn't let it go for so long. So we were able to, get together and break their momentum in time. So yeah, I definitely saw.
Emma, what did you guys learn from previous recent losses, particularly the close ones, that kind of helped you guys close the deal in the fourth quarter tonight?
To, there's like a way of thinking in the end of the game, like you try not to do anything wrong or like not to lose, instead of like keep going for the win. It's a different kind of mindset. I think we all had those games in careers where, okay, you're up, but you're not doing anything anymore. And I think tonight we were just still being aggressive in the end and still trying to go to the rim and like having good stops. So.
This is your 34th game this year across EuroLeague, Eurobasket, and so forth. You've scored double figures in 30 of them. So looking back at your career, what do you think have been your biggest improvements as a scorer that makes you such a consistent scorer now?
I'm not looking to score. I think that's why. I'm just trying to be going with the team, trying to give them what they need and move and everything. So all my other games are in teams too where I've been playing a long time, where I know the coaches and the players for a long time, so you kind of know the system. So you just go with the flow and then you know where the options are. So when I don't score more than 10 points or something, I'm totally fine with it. I just want to win. And I think that should be the mindset of the team every single time.
Emma, I'm curious, what do you think worked better tonight versus Saturday? Like, what stood out the most to you?
I think we were more on the same page in defense, making less mistakes. We talked through it a lot last practice. We had a good practice. But I think that's the main thing that changed the most.
Emma, you're about a month into your Liberty career since you decided to come to this team. How have you been convinced that you made the right decision?
Because I'm happy. That's the only thing that should matter, I think. Good.
Emma, can you talk a little bit more about the communication on defense? So that's something you went over in practice. Just what were those conversations like and what was the focus?
We just had different schemes, I think. But also the communication on court was good. I feel like we were talking a lot, and if we messed something up, like we huddled and we talked through it, or we had a different video in the halftime. So it's just keep building, and I think it's also being said on practice, like ask questions, like there's no stupid questions about it, like just reminders for everybody, for yourself to just hear it one more time loud. So I think that's all part of it.
And it did seem like as a team you guys were able to keep up the intensity on both ends pretty much the entire way. Just what was the difference there compared to in the past where you've had, those letdowns, especially started the first or third quarters?
Probably mindset on that. The way we started being aggressive, and also the third quarter, which has been a bit of a pain point for us sometimes. But we stayed running, and we were hyping each other up to like keep going. And then if you're tired, like we have players on the bench too, So we were able to keep it up for a longer time this way.
Yeah, but when you see Sabrina get emotional like that, when Carlton shoved her to the floor and get fired up, and then obviously the three. Seeing Sabrina like that as a teammate, how does it make you feel seeing her like that?
I mean, it fires the whole team up, It just, that brings joy too, and passion. You see the passion like just radiating, and then the crowd gets going too. So that's what we need, I think the past few games sometimes, because maybe tiredness, we went into our heads a little bit. Whereas if you see this, the whole team gets a boost. So I think that's what we learned today too, like just do that for everybody in the team, and then the mindset can come faster too.
And we don't take that for granted at all. We're so much better when we play at home with our fans. It's really hard to play here if you're the opponent, so we just try to capitalize off of that, and the energy was really good today.
I'm curious how you reacted to the big stop that Sabrina made on Carlton, and just how you've seen her growth defensively throughout the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Sabrina played good defense today. We all did play good defense. I don't think it's just about Sab. It's about everybody putting more effort, putting more pressure on the ball, being, on help side, helping each other. I think that was like an overall team effort today.
Right.
It felt like over the past two games, you guys have really been more insistent about getting into the rim and sort of finding those driving lanes. Just over the matchups this season, just what do you think you guys have been able to sort of like uncover when it comes to going up against this defense?
Well, yeah, I feel like we're a really good shooting team, right, from the three-point line, and sometimes we settle for those shots, so we really have to get into the paint. Even though, you might not get a layup, you open up stuff, you get a cutter, you open up other people, so just being really intentional about getting a paint touch before we get a shot.
In terms of setting the tone with physicality, how is this something that now you can use as a benchmark to build off of?
Yeah, we have to play like this every night. Understanding that we are tired when we go through, a tough schedule, but we just got to put it out there, get quicker subs, and always put pressure on them.
I just want to ask you how you felt about dealing with McBride again for the second straight game. It really tried to not give her many open threes, trying to run her off the line, trying to make her dribble, and at least if she's going to beat you off the dribble and score, so be it. Just talk about how you felt your team defense was with McBride.
Yeah, I mean, a great team effort. We were helping. When she was in pick and roll, the bigs were there. We were really physical with her, trying to get over the screens, sending her into the help. We were really intentional, and I think did a good job, executed our defense well tonight.
Leo, what's a moment in this game that I guess represented the collective effort? We talked pregame about the effort. What was something that stood out?
I don't think there's like a key moment, honestly. I just love when we're all boxed out, and the ball can actually bounce off the floor and somebody just grabs it. That's my favorite moment because it's so hard when you're boxing out and somebody just comes flying in. So just those moments where everybody is boxing out and really physical, those are my favorite moments.
Last two guys.
Yep, and speaking of flying, KB, once again, both ends of the court, trying to make things happen and be aggressive. You talk about her flying around and being aggressive the way she is and how she overcame that hit in the head.
Yeah, I love to play with KB. She brings such a good energy off the bench. You can always count on her. She's a really good defender. She can get downhill. She gives us always a spark. So I'm just happy she's back. She's healthy and cannot wait to finish the season with her.
4 matchups in 20 days. A lot of them came down to the final minutes. Just what do you think is the biggest lesson the group can take from this matchup and sort of apply it to the rest of the season as you get ready for the playoff?
Yeah, we cannot wait until the second half to start playing. I feel like that's been our problem a little bit. And today we really started from minute 1. We were physical, we were there, we were present, and that we need to do a lot more to the next games.
First, just want to ask you, when Courtney was dribbling the ball out, you had to show her what time it was with that. You talk about getting that victory over them and just letting them know that this is how y'all roll.
Yeah, I know Minnie loves to talk about us a lot. We live rent-free, but this is another game of just really feeling good about ourselves. This is our best defensive game that we put together in a while. Offensively, we're very intentional with our actions. We need to take care of the ball, myself included, a little bit more. But overall, there's always going to be mistakes in the game, but our game execution from offense to defense tonight was Liberty basketball, and that's what I'm most happy about. I don't give a about all that off the court. Like, you can keep talking, whatever. Like, we're really focused on these last 10, now 9 games to feel good about ourselves because we know what we have in this locker room. And when everything is working as it should, we're going to be at our most elite level of play, especially with getting our people back.
Sabrina locked up Carlton in the 4th, and then also she hit that dagger 3, obviously. How much do you just feed off of that intensity and the fire that she, was celebrating with, but also just closing out the game strong?
Yeah, Sav's been huge for us, especially when our numbers have been down. And so we get accountability, right? We get on Sav a lot about covering her matchup and all this. And that's a moment where, like, we're all super hyped for her because that's what we asked of her. She delivered for us. And then what a huge 4-point play to really swing just the momentum into our favor, to get the crowd back into it, and just to reestablish, like, Liberty basketball here and how clutch we can be in those moments. So I'm really happy for my dog. She's been grinding it out. Didn't feel good at halftime, but came out and gave us everything that she had in that last 20 minutes.
How hard was it? How hard was it for you, or the difficulties of guarding Kayla a little bit more, than you had in previous matchups with Leo now and Courtney? How do you feel like you did, as that matchup?
Yeah, I feel like I did a solid job. I went from both Courtney to K-Mac. I switched in the last 4 minutes to Courtney as well down the stretch. But that's just me and Leo's job is any given night, being able to guard on the perimeter and being there for one another when we don't necessarily have, because it's a lot. Like, Leo did a really good job of slowing Courtney down early tonight by picking her up in a full court pressure situation, making Courtney release the ball. I was just trying to blow Kayla up as much as possible, get her to the rim, and if she scores, that's okay, but she's not shooting threes off the DHO tonight. So I give myself a solid A on defense tonight.
And how close were you to traveling on the play that led to the Sabrina 3 when you pump faked and didn't shoot?
Really close. That's why I put that bitch down and I said, just shoot it at this point. Because I'd rather shoot it, give us a chance to get a second chance opportunity than to put the game in the ref's hands and make a call down the stretch that didn't go in our favor. So, yeah, very close. Them books was like,
That's how it looked.
I felt like I was flowing a little bit,
Natasha, when it comes to, we're about a month into the Emma Meesseman era. In your own words, how did Emma make the right decision coming here?
Emma made the right decision coming here because we have everything that we need. We play the structure of basketball that she wants. We play a selfless bit of basketball that she wants, and also like have a really encompassing locker room that will love on her and bring her out of her shell. So I think she's fit in perfectly. I think she came in when we needed her most and to kind of like balance things out. So Emma has done a really good job of just implementing herself, and I don't think people really understand how hard that is to come in mid-season to a team that's already down numbers and then to be producing the way that she is. So Emma made the right choice, and we're going to keep trucking away until we prove that to her as well.
At practice yesterday, Leo said she guaranteed a win. She said the options were yes and yes.
Yes.
And then the first 5 minutes, you guys as a team, as a full unit, came out and really set that tone. Can you just talk to that mindset a little bit?
Yeah. Losses don't shake this team. Losses don't break our locker room. Losses don't make us go on our own islands. That's what's special about the culture of this team and this organization. And so, again, after losing to Minnie and Minnie, the goal was to come back and to get one and to just refocus and still be intentional on us. It wasn't about any outside noise. It wasn't about any shit talking. It's just about feeling good about us, being professionals of how we approach things, and just being about our business. So when we came in yesterday, we had a really long, a long film session. It was almost like an hour and 15, I think. I had to start holding my eyes open like this, but we was getting into it. The accountability factor has been there for us, and for us as a team, like we were tired of talking about it. It's about going out there and just playing and doing what we say we're going to do, and we were able to do that tonight.
Was that the longest film session of the season yesterday?
Yes, for me. Yes, for sure.
You mentioned the film session. I'm just curious if you can take us inside, like, what the accountability looks and feels like, you know?
We started with special situations in mini down the end when we didn't execute and weren't at our best, seeing where we can be better and being accountable for that. We moved on to our offense when we got really stagnant, and where we can be better and where we can put them in really terrible situations. So I think tonight we were able to really tire them out with getting them to play 24 seconds of a shot clock at points, getting them to shift side to side and making Courtney guard as well, so that when she was coming down and getting picked up full court, we're going to tire you out by the fourth quarter. And then defensively was probably our longest session. We just needed to be better. We needed to be better at the points of screens, guards and post included. Guards being better about getting into Courtney's shit when that screen is coming, post being there at the point of the screen so that she's not just dribbling into easy pull-ups. The same with K-Mac. Our weak side being there, and then rebounding has been like our Achilles heel. So just again, putting us on accountability factor, putting us on the film, allowing us to see where we're taking moments of that little fatigue setting in, you taking breaks, and that's just not what Liberty basketball is about. So I think we were able to change that shit tonight. We were getting the loose balls, the 50-50 balls. We were getting, when they did start to come back and getting extra possessions, we were able to come in and be like, we need to fucking rebound the ball and go out there and rebound the actual ball. So that accountability factor was huge into tonight.
What did you say to get that tech?
I didn't say anything to Roy. I literally said, move her knee, it's displacing her, and I got it technical. So I think that we just need to have a real accountability with our refs as well about like what it means to be soft in the middle of a game. I didn't say a cuss. I didn't come at him. I didn't aggressively approach him. I just said her knee has to move. While I'm demonstrating, I don't feel like that's disrespect to the game. I feel like it's disrespect to JJ. The amounts of times that she gets beaten up under the fucking post, and it's not a secret to anyone. I know tonight we got some foul calls, but 33-8 in our last game is asinine. So when you're talking about we are frustrated that we're not getting certain calls, I'm going to continue to advocate. I'm going to try to stay away because I got 5 now. I think 7 is still.
You got 6.
Do I? I think I have 5.
Unless one got rescinded.
I thought I had 5. I've been counting. I just got my 4th in mini, and this is my 5th today, so that's 5.
Okay.
Yes. And some of them should be rescinded. Actually, 7 isn't the number anymore. If we're going to keep adding more games in, then the number of technicals actually needs to increase because we're at 35 games to the 7 technicals. So it should be around 11 or 12 technicals at this point if we're going to keep adding games to a season and not extending the season as well.
I guess how do you dance that fine line of like, being a fiery player and playing like you play very emotionally and like you've been looking like you're playing pissed off the last few games.
For sure.
In a good way.
Yeah.
But also teetering that line of trying to be careful not to go over that line, I guess.
I think I really am asking for some accountability on the other end too, because I've played 10 years the same way. I'm a fiery player, so I do feel like I should have some grace with especially refs that I've played with for 10 years now and have given them and poured into them. I've deposited into them. So I said hi to Roy before the game tonight too, and he even gave me a delay of game later for not giving him the ball, and it's like not my job to give you the ball. So the ball was, you're recording the foul or whatever you want to record anyway, so it's not my job to walk you the ball. So I just think that with some of our seasoned refs, do we have it in us to still be here, or are we done? Because if you're not going to continue to try to have relationships with us, then I don't really know what we're doing here.
Natasha, just back to the physicality of this game. It wasn't just on the defensive end that you guys were setting the tone, but early on, we were putting both Courtney and K-Mac into a lot of screen actions and trying to really blow them up in screens. Yeah, how much of that was a point of emphasis going into this one?
It was the biggest point of emphasis. I don't think we did a really good job in our first or our last two outings, particularly, in putting them into action. And the same thing is what they want to do to us, to try to put some of our, whatever you want to call, weaker defenders in actions. That was absolutely what we did. We're going to make Courtney guard as much as she wants to use that pick and roll.
How did tonight start to reestablish the definition of Liberty basketball, especially as you enter the final 10 games of the season?
We really are just about getting to feel good playing. That's the most important part. You want to peak at the right moments of the season, so we're happy that, all this adversity along the way, I really do believe it shapes you for your purpose at the end of the season. And where we're going to be at the end of the season, because we went through all this shit early and still found a way to kind of just put our heads down and power through, is going to pay on the end when we get into playoff situations that come down to the wire, and it's like we've been here before, so we're not even stressed.
After you.
Oh, KB had the crossover moment there, and then
She
got
didn't
in
know
the
she
head.
made her fall. I had to tell KB she made her fall.
That's what she was telling us after, too, after when Courtney hit her in the head there. But talk about that crossover moment and how KB just continued to be there. Right?
Yeah, it's been so good to have her back. She really is such a huge piece to our team and so versatile in what we do, from our offensive schemes to our defensive schemes. She's a nightmare matchup for a lot of fours, a lot of threes, a lot of smaller guards. So we just are going to continue to put her in that action. But I always love for KB to be rewarded because she's very humble about herself, especially on the offensive end. So she got a little some shit to her, you feel me? So I love that crossover. I love it for her. And just it's great for our team too, right? To see her aggressive and attacking downhill and putting us to the line.
Hey Tosh, now that you guys have finished with this season series, a lot of the games came down to the final minutes. What do you think is the biggest lesson the group can take from this mini playoff matchup, in a sense, and sort of apply to the rest of the season?
We're not worried about it. It's about our execution down the stretch more than anything. I think that we have showed that we can stay in games with literally down players and 8 players, 9 players, whatever it may be. We had an opportunity to win in mini, and we just didn't execute down the stretch, and that's something that we can control, and that's something that we can fix. So when you're talking about, we're excited because we know that's something that is fixable here within our locker room. It's not anything that we have to add or something that we don't have. We have everything we need. So our execution down the stretch tonight was better. Even when we weren't scoring offensively, we were getting stops defensively, and that's something that we haven't been doing. So even those moments of seeing how we've progressed from last game to this game are huge when you're just talking about just getting into Liberty basketball before playoffs come.
Tosh, there's been a lot of talk about just the effort that comes out of different players on this team, and I'm just curious if there was a moment tonight that sort of told you, the effort is coming back, like something that just sort of stands out.
I don't think the effort ever left. Do you feel like it left?
I mean, Sandy has talked to us about how there have been some effort issues.
But the effort, I feel like, is there every night. We come out, we play really hard. The execution might not always be there. The bodies might not always be there. But I do think that we have come in with effort when it comes to playing through fatigue and all those things. That little bit of effort, I think, is what you're talking about and what Sandy's referring to. But the overall, we show up every night to do our job. I think it's been there. But I will say that I think overall we have pushed through what is a crazy schedule. I know we're not going to make excuses. We're going to put our hard hats on and show up every single day. But to talk about what it means to finish 5-9 in July, and then we have 15 in August, where we're on the road for most of the time. We fly home for about 3 days, and then we're back on the road again, and we're playing back-to-backs in less than 24 hours. Our effort has been showing up every single day despite all that has popped up against us this season, whether it's the adversity of players out, whether it's the adversity of the scheduling, which the W can do a lot better with the scheduling. It's really not that hard to us. Man, our effort is there every day, but the effort that you're talking about, I think, is more on the defensive end of being there for each other, being there in the gaps, taking our personal matchups and knowing our personnel, being very intentional with it. I think there was a difference in our just intentionality today and our toughness, because we were definitely called out, and there's nothing soft here in New York, and y'all know that.
Awesome. Thanks, Tash.
You just highlighted something about the importance of making Courtney Williams guard you, but also having to guard Courtney Williams as an all-defensive guard in this league. What are some of the non-negotiables in this league that makes guards successful at a WNBA level defensively?
I think the toughness, Courtney, I will say, me and Courtney go way back, and so this is who she is as a player. I love Courtney at the end of the day when it comes down to it, but we're competitive on the court, and so even like little shit that she'll say is like, Cloud the only one that guard me, and I'm like, you got what you wanted, I'm going to get in your now. So when she catches that ball on the perimeter, I'm going to get in your I'm going to make sure that I put you on your back foot. When that screen is coming, I got to skinny myself into you and get over the screen. And my job with our scheme is to get back in front of Courtney as much as I can. So my job is just to make her night, and me and Leo, is to make her night a living hell. Courtney's a great player. She's going to get to her spots. Minnie does a really good job of putting her in positions to get to her spot. But it's about us just making every shot really, really hard for her, and then going down the other end and attacking her and putting her in actions, and then making her push it at us again full court. Doing the same thing over and over again for 40 minutes to stay consistent in that is the biggest difference, I think, tonight for us.